Today we're going to go over some Caseology cases for the new iPhone SE 2020, and I'm just going to give you my thoughts on the ones that they sent me. First up is a wavelength. I got the burgundy color and the navy blue. When I first looked at the case, the gold really sticks out, so it does capture some attention. Now if you do want to stay under the radar, then they do have an all black one, so it's nice to have that option. Now this case is a two-piece case, the sides are plastic, and I do like how the plastic has more of a rubber feel to it, so it does have a nice grip when you're holding it. The other material is TPU, so it's really flexible, and of course on the back you can see straight lines, which you can actually feel as well. Now having this case on for a couple of days, I do realize that lint can get in between the lines, so it may be a little bit higher maintenance for some people. Now one of the cons about having plastic sides is that if you do drop this, the scuffs will be there forever. Next up is a Coastline. This case has a clear back with TPU sides. Now I really dig the TPU on this case because it does have that frosted matte smooth finish, which I do prefer on a lot of my cases. And it's also pretty flexible, so you can take your phone in and out really easily, but I will say that having this case on does feel a bit thicker than the wavelength. So the wavelength does feel a bit wider in the hands but thinner. The Coastline does feel more narrow but thicker. Now the great thing about having TPU sides is that if you do drop this, most likely it probably won't show any damage. You can just brush it off and it will look brand new. Next up is the Skyfall. This is a two-piece case and the back is pretty clear and the sides are covered with plastic, so kind of similar to the Coastline. But the difference here is that the sides this time are more striking. The colors, especially the red one I got, really contrast well with the black phone. So I would say that this case is more for a person that wants a bit more pop. For personal preference, this one is probably not going to be my favorite one just because it's really slippery. So the plastic on this case is really smooth on the hands. Now taking your phone out of this case is pretty hard. I feel like the plastic really sets it in there, so it's not going to be as flexible, or you can't really bend it back as much as the other cases. And with the back piece, it's going to be similar to a lot of clear cases where it's going to be a fingerprint magnet or collect a lot of grease and oils within the next week or so. Next up is the Waterfall. This case is a really basic clear case, so it's really common. It's nothing too special about this one. I feel like this case is the most narrow and thinnest out of all of it, so if you do want the most compact case but also just want to show off your phone, then definitely this one is the one to go with. Last but not least, we have the Parallax. This one is going to be my favorite one out of the whole set. I just think that it's the best looking one. It's not too flashy, yet it does have the gold just like the wavelength, but you do have other options to be a bit more monotoned. And the plastic piece around this case feels really similar to the wavelength as well, so it does have a really nice grip to it, so it doesn't feel like it's going to slip out of your hands. As well as the shape, it does feel more wider, but it's thin. I would say the biggest difference between the Parallax and the wavelength is the design on the back and the texture as well. On the Parallax, it's really smooth and you can actually feel the little concave areas around the back. So in conclusion, I feel like you are getting good value for your money here, especially if you do like thinner cases. For personal preference, I would always pick a TPU material over plastic. So for me, my favorite all-time Caseology case is going to be the Vault series. But even though the Parallax and Wavelength are plastic, do have plastic sides, they do have a good grip to it. So it doesn't feel like you're dropping the case or your phone all the time. If you are interested in getting any of these cases, I do have the links down below to check out. Please follow me on Instagram, give a like, subscribe, hit the bell, and thanks for watching.